Here we go with an audio check. Test 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. How do we sound, Alan? Alright guys, let's go ahead and kick this off. Hope everyone's doing alright. It's been a while since we last went live. I have relocated. I'm in San Antonio right now for the next month or so on a temporary duty. So I'm a little bit out of my element. You'll notice I don't have the green screen up and running. I don't have that tech on me. I'm in a different place. I'm in a hotel room for the next month. So essentially, these live streams are going to be conducted a little bit differently. Maybe not as attractive of a presentation as what you're used to, but we're going to do make the best of that as we can. So we'll go ahead and kick off going over some live prices. We'll talk about a little bit of the news, and then we'll address questions. I'm doing my best to monitor questions on Facebook and YouTube as well. So if you have a question over anything we're covering in the live stream, or any specific altcoins or news that you've heard of, stuff that I'm not touching on but you do have questions about, feel free to ask, and I will do my absolute best to answer your questions. So as always, we'll start with Bitcoin. We finally broke that crucial threshold, $8,000, and we have been able to hold it so far. We're sitting at 8,025 right now. We're only up 3% today, so it's been a slow but gradual climb up to where we are now. So that's good. I think that's healthy, and I think it'll continue. I do not expect a pullback. When we first hit it, there was a little bit of a pullback. I think we saw 7,500 after the first time we visited 8,000. So that would have been a perfect buying opportunity. I was unable to get in. I was a little bit worried. I was like, I'm not sure exactly how far back the pullback was going to go. I had a buy-in at 7,000. That was where I really thought that there's very low risk and high reward, but we never saw 7,000, so I was unable to set up a position. Anyway, so that's Bitcoin Cash. So last week I think it was, we spiked up to $2,800. One of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. Out of years of trading, I've never seen anything go up and then crash so hard, so fast. There's a lot of questionable activities surrounding the rise and fall of Bitcoin Cash. And when I say rise and fall, I mean it's sitting at almost $1,200. So it's not like it went away completely. Bitcoin Cash is not off the radar yet. Roger Ver is still, tweeting about it and all this stuff, trying to trying to get people to buy into Bitcoin Cash, and I don't know. I mean, there's still a lot of people that are backing Bitcoin Cash, but the price action is not what it was a week ago. Um, after we sold off, we broke 1,000. I think we saw 700 or 800 somewhere around in there. We were back up to 1,300, and now it's been a slow sell-off back to where we are right now at 1179 and change. We're down 5% today, and I think that sell-off is going to continue until we get some other kind of news, like mass adoption of Bitcoin Cash or something like that. If something were to happen, like the major exchanges were going to adopt Bitcoin Cash trading pairs, that would be huge. Like if you could use your Bitcoin Cash to go in and buy altcoins, like on Bitfinex or Bittrex, or Coinbase adopted Bitcoin Cash, meaning you could exchange your fiat directly for Bitcoin Cash on the Coinbase exchange. That would be huge. That would drive some price action in Bitcoin Cash. Other than that, I mean, we're going to be looking for some other catalyst on that level to really move the bar very much on Bitcoin Cash. Ethereum, oh my gosh. Alright, so I held Ethereum for months and months, and it did nothing, and I got pissed off, and essentially what happened is I liquidated my Ethereum and bought Bitcoin Cash. I mean, I got lucky. That was when Bitcoin Cash was at 800. So although I sold at 1800, I wasn't able to unload above 2000 like I would have liked to. I still sold at 1800. That's not too bad. So I did make some money off of that Ethereum by moving it into Bitcoin Cash. But I regret not having a position in Ethereum now, because we've gone from 290 up to 355. I think we saw 360 earlier today. We've seen a very, very nice move in the price of Ethereum. I just started to lose hope is what happened. I was tired of holding Ethereum like as my largest position. Meanwhile, Bitcoin Cash was soaring, Bitcoin was soaring, IOTA was soaring, all the altcoins were soaring, everything but Ethereum was exploding. So I ended up moving out of it, and timing was less than perfect, I guess you could say. Litecoin also, we went from 50 to 70, 73 I think was the high today, in just a day or two. We've seen a massive swing in Litecoin, and a lot of that is due in large part to the atomic swaps that have been taking place between Litecoin and Bitcoin. It's been in the headlines off and on. Every couple hours you'll see a new headline. Someone posts to Reddit, or someone writes a new article about the Litecoin atomic swaps, right? So people are starting to get very excited. Litecoin, the technology behind Litecoin is actually excellent. It's pretty much it's been used as a test base for Bitcoin. It is Lightning equipped. It is SegWit equipped. Atomic swaps are real with Litecoin. So Litecoin has a lot of things going for it. Let's take a look real quick at the Litecoin chart here. I mean, look at that. Is that not the healthiest? Hold on. Let me see if I can zoom out here. Look at the 1 day. Absolutely phenomenal. Look at that. Just steadily upwards. Steadily upwards. Really the only hiccup was this pretty much uncalled for bull run, and then that was when Bitcoin hit the all-time high of 5,000 back 1st of September, and then Litecoin just plummeted and sold off, as did Bitcoin. The entire market did. So I would pretty much ignore that. But aside from that, I mean, it's been pretty much steadily upwards, and Litecoin is looking very, very healthy, very, very strong, and we're looking at a very positive bull run right now. Whether or not this will continue, I'm not sure. I feel like I've already missed the bus here. I think I'm going to wait for a little bit of a pullback. I'd like to get in back down at 60 or 65. I don't know if we're going to see that though. Litecoin is looking too strong right now. We'll just have to see what happens. Back to the live chart. Neo. All right. So I've held a position in Neo for, I don't know, a couple of weeks maybe. I bought it back at 28, and it spiked up. I wasn't able to sell because it sold off quickly. I was at work during all of that. I got home. I saw that I missed it. I was a little bit displeased, but I went ahead and held on to it, and now it's really paid off because we saw almost $50 for Neo earlier today. What's that? 48 and change. So from 28 to 48, an absolutely massive climb we've seen here from NEO over the past couple days. And here's the thing, it's almost entirely hype generated. I've been, I always use CryptoPanic. Like I every 10 or 15 minutes I check CryptoPanic just to quickly scout the headlines throughout the day. And there were a couple headlines, basically people just speculating, rumors, that there could be, or probably will be, a huge announcement coming for NEO. The article I'm referencing said in 72 hours expect a world-changing announcement from NEO or from China. So the price ran up like 80%. I mean, that's a little bit ridiculous in my opinion. So I went ahead and took some of my risk, or well, all of my risk off the table at about $40. I rode it out throughout this entire thing, and then once it got back up to 40, I went ahead and just chunked it. I didn't expect the continued bull run there. But like I said, it's completely hype based, so I would wait for this to pull back. I think NEO is going to continue this trend right here. I drew the trend line for you. I think right here is when I started watching this this trend line. So it went down quickly and then went back up, and I was curious to see if we were going to continue to respect that trend line, and sure enough we did. It bounced off of that trend line violently, and now we're continuing downward. So I would not recommend any new positions in NEO right now. We're going to continue downwards to, I'm going to say, 35, 36 range, and if that doesn't hold, we could fall all the way back down to the $28 to $30 range. That is where the unfaltering support is going to lie. But until Monday comes and goes, I think we're still going to find some support at about $35. Whether or not that rumor will actually come to fruition, I have no idea. I don't know what kind of news they're expecting. I think I saw someone speculating that China was going to reopen exchanges, reopen ICOs, all this stuff. Obviously, that would be huge for NEO. I mean, we would probably exceed the all-time high of $60 or $70, whatever that was. And it would happen like that. So that's what people are hoping for. That's what has fueled this entire bull run. But I think as reality kind of sets in, it's starting to sell off, and now we're just going to wait and see what tomorrow holds. If it gets down to 35, I'm going to buy some. I'm going to buy some NEO back. If it gets down to 30, I'm going to double the position I had before. So definitely keep an eye on NEO. Also, NEO has it's carrying more trade volume than any other coin by far. We have NEO, over 14,000 Bitcoin worth of NEO traded today, just on the Bitcoin market alone, and then Bitcoin Cash is number 2 with 8,000. So NEO carrying almost twice the trade volume of Bitcoin Cash, which that in and of itself is pretty noteworthy. Bitcoin Cash, even after the massive sell-off, still number 2 in the Bitcoin market for trade volume today. Same with Ethereum. NEO number 1, but Bitcoin Cash right on the heels of NEO with over 17,000 Ethereum. Alright, so we're up to 30 live viewers now. Welcome to the stream, everyone. It's awesome to have you with us. Looks like we have quite a few questions coming in, so I'm going to go ahead and address some of these. Let's see. So Trent John is back. Welcome to the stream, man. You're here pretty reliably. It's awesome to see you with us. Let's see. Desi Munda said, Litecoin should I buy? So I think I kind of addressed that already. I would recommend waiting for a little bit of a pullback. I'm not sure if this bull run is going to continue much further. Now, long term, I'm incredibly bullish on Litecoin. If you're looking for a quick flip, I wouldn't recommend Bitcoin. But if you're just looking for something that is not going to falter, it's going to be fine long term, you're looking to park your capital and just get it out of fiat, get it out of the US dollar, because it depreciates pretty much on a daily basis. Litecoin is one of the best. Litecoin, Ripple, what else? Those two are probably the top 2 if you just want to park somewhere very, very safe. Ethereum would be another one, but again, we've seen a pretty aggressive run up lately, so there might be a little bit of a pullback. Long term, all 3 are going to be solid. Short term, possible short term pullback. I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, Train John said he bought a miner and it's not making any profit. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I don't know if you've exhausted all of your resources. I know you can, I forget the site. Which coins are most profitable to mine? Let's see if this pulls up. What to mine? I think this is it. Whattomine.com. This should tell you, yeah, this is exactly what you need. It'll tell you what your daily cost to run your miner will be, what your power consumption is, the hash rate you can expect. There's a lot of tools here you can use to determine what is the most lucrative coin to mine on a day-to-day basis. So if you haven't looked at whattomine.com, I recommend that. Maybe it can help you out. Let's see here. So not really many questions, more of a discussion, which is cool. That's cool. Looks like we have someone named Shannon. I think this is a newcomer. Good to have you with us. I don't recognize that name. He says, "Hey, what would you say are some of the factors causing the Bitcoin to rise?" Well, Bitcoin is digital gold. You've heard that a million times by now, I'm sure. So people continue to buy it just because of the household name and because every time there's a pullback, it just continues to go up. The bull run continues. I mean, right now, short term, there's a big scare with Bitcoin Cash. Some people were thinking, Bitcoin Cash could maybe topple Bitcoin, replace Bitcoin. There's a big scare, so that ended up not happening, at least not yet. And there's been sort of a euphoric moment following that. All the capital flowed right back out of Bitcoin Cash and into Bitcoin. Aside from that, there's not really any mega catalysts powering this decline that we're seeing for Bitcoin. It's just, well, actually, okay, this is probably it. Let's go ahead and refresh this and get a real time. So the market cap, the overall market cap for cryptocurrencies, for the 1,301 cryptocurrencies that CoinMarketCap tracks, we're sitting at 233, almost 238 billion dollars US. We've seen a massive increase lately. It was only a couple weeks ago where we were unable to break that $200 billion threshold, and now we're already at almost 238 just a week or two later. So what that means is a ton of new capital has flowed into the market. I think people are starting to get a little bit exhausted with traditional assets like gold and silver. There's not a whole lot of profit to be made in those. Supposedly they are stores of value, but the manipulation seen in gold and silver is absolutely ridiculous. Like I don't know who or what has been suppressing the price, but they've been doing it for a very long time. So I think people are starting to tire of that and move their capital elsewhere. And I think cryptocurrency, namely Bitcoin, is really benefiting on that front. So here we're almost at $250 billion for the crypto market overall, and that's very exciting. That just means more and more people are starting to get excited about cryptocurrency, and they're moving their capital into the space, and that's awesome. I think that is the reason why Bitcoin is we're seeing the run up in the price right now. All right, Matt O has a question. What about OMG? Trying to get in with plus or minus 3,500 OMG coins. Whew, that's a pretty sizable position. I haven't kept a close eye on OMG. Mostly because I feel like I missed out, and I'm not really sure exactly what a good time to buy in for OMG would be. I know they have a strong backing. The development team is awesome, and forget there's like some country or bank or something behind them, and I think that's why people are so excited about it. But I really haven't paid much attention to it. I think there's better projects out there, so I've pretty much been ignoring it. Someone named No RB says buy TSLA stock. Yeah, I used to follow Tesla, and I still follow stocks off and on. I'm in the Disney and Target right now. Disney's on a little bit of a pullback because there's some worry over what was it? ESPN. ESPN has been suffering because football has been suffering because Colin freaking Kaepernick is a moron, and people are tired of watching him disrespect the entire country. Anyway, I don't want to get into politics, but the NFL and therefore ESPN is suffering because of it, and since Disney owns ESPN, um, they've taken a hit. Also, they announced recently that they're pulling all of their movies off of Netflix in the near future. I forget exactly what the timeline is, but I think it's like early next year. They're going to pull all their movies from Netflix, and they're going to start their own streaming service. And I'm pretty bullish on that. I think it's going to be awesome, but not everyone is on the same page. So there's been some selling pressure. It's at about $100 right now. I think in the near term it's going to go up, though. We have the new Star Wars coming out. Um, there's always a lot of excitement around that, and Star Wars, that franchise is unstoppable. It's going to do really well, and here at the end of December, 1st of January, we're going to see a run up in Disney. Anyways, I got completely off target there. We're talking about Tesla. I haven't followed Tesla recently, but I know what's his name, Musk, something Musk. That dude's a genius. I have no doubt that he is going to continue to manage Tesla brilliantly. So you're probably right. There's probably some money to be made there. Oh, so Alan Steinberg says, did anyone see the new Atlas robot updates? I think I actually saw you share that on your Facebook. I watched the video somewhere. That is pretty awesome. They have this robot that can do backflips and all sorts of like somersaults and acrobatics. Pretty impressive that AI is capable of that. That is pretty impressive. So here we have Yasir. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name because that is incredibly complicated. He asked if Verge, this is a good position to buy for Verge. Excellent question, my friend. I think that it is. So these are all the coins basically that I'm following closely. I have basically price targets established for all of them. I'm just waiting for the moment to come, for the right moment. So anyways, Verge is one of the ones that I've been following since back here. Like this was a very pivotal moment for Verge. Like this downtrend turned into an uptrend, and I covered this. We did a live stream the day of, and I talked about this. And then we had this massive bull run, and I didn't sell. My position wasn't big enough, really. I'm gonna have like 50,000 Verge or something. So I've been waiting for a better time to get in. This would have been it back here. I missed it, but I think basically 3/5 of a cent is what you're paying for Verge right now, and I think that that's going to be, yeah, you could safely buy into Verge right now with some pretty low risk. I'm hoping for a little more of a pullback. If I could get in at like half of a penny, that's probably where I'm going to increase my position. But the fundamentals behind Verge are incredible. I think, in my opinion, Verge is the best privacy coin out there. They have their own wallet. First off, the currency and the wallet both they run through a Tor, an onion router, which makes the use of the currency and the depositing of it into the wallet completely anonymous. Nobody can track it. Like it is the most anonymous currency out there, and I'm surprised that the awareness for Verge is not as it's not as high as that of Monero and stuff like that. And it is a newer currency. I think it's been around since like 2014 or something like that, whereas Monero has been around since what, 2012, or almost since Bitcoin has been around. But I think Verge is the underdog. I think that it's going to gain some market share, and the development team is pretty solid. I love Verge. It's one of my top picks. That's why I monitor it. It's one of my top one of my top 8. So yeah, I think I mean it looks like there's some support right here at about 3/5 of a penny, and we're almost there right now. So I like Verge, and I mean it's not a jackpot moment to buy Verge, but I think you could buy in with low risk. What's your opinion on Lisk? That question comes from Christops. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I looked into Lisk. It's been a while. It's been over a month back. I don't remember exactly what the project brings to the table. I think it's something like a sidechain that allows. I don't remember. I haven't followed it closely to really offer an expert opinion on that. So I guess I shouldn't comment. I know there's a huge following for Lisk. We've seen a pretty epic run up in the past past week or two. We broke $10, I know, not too long ago. We're sitting at just below right now. Oh, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a pretty clear Elliott wave developing right there. I don't know. Just a quick glance at that chart makes me want to say there's going to be a pretty juicy sell-off here pretty soon. Probably back down to 750. I mean, this is just, like I said, I don't keep up with Lisk and the developments. I have seen some headlines come across crypto panic, but I don't know. I would say 750 is probably a pretty good buy-in target just with a quick glance at the chart. Usually when you see this, there's a pullback to follow. However, I did a live stream dedicated to talking about the Elliott wave that had developed in Bitcoin, and we predicted that I forget where we thought it was going to pull back, but it never happened. We went, I think it was like $6,000 back then, and now we're at $8,000. So I mean, technical analysis is only worth so much. It's not a guarantee by any means. So I could be completely wrong there. Sorry, I'm not able to give you a better answer on the Lisk. Selfie coin, Jordan Voorhees. I have no idea what that is, but you sparked my interest. So let's see what that's about. Never heard of this before. All right, it's very cheap. I'm sure it's not going to be on Bittrex. It's probably in like what, the ICO stages, pre-ICO. I have no idea which of these sites is like the dedicated selfie coin site. See, that worries me when like I can't really find a site for the coin. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna leave that one. Trim John says, you think that if we get invested now, will it make a difference in the future, even though we might lose some money today? Let's see. I'm not sure which currency specifically you're talking about. Just keep in mind we're at all-time highs and comparative highs for a lot of the coins right now. Basically what that means is if any kind of FUD enters the headlines, people start to get scared, they're going to be quick to sell off because we're at all-time highs. Until that happens, I think we're going to continue to see this slow ascension. I think the price is going to continue to go up for Bitcoin especially, and then the other altcoins are just going to follow suit. But I mean, if you're asking about a specific coin like Verge, yeah, I think long-term Verge is going to be freaking solid because the project is solid. It brings more to the table than any other currency. I think that may have been what you're asking about, Verge. Ripple is another one. Like, you can pretty much buy anywhere between 20 and 25 cents, and long term, if you're willing to hold it for a year or two, like, you're guaranteed to make a decent profit eventually. It's just, you know, short term, who knows? There's not a lot of volatility in Ripple. What about WeTrust? TRST. It's another one I've never heard of. WeTrust.io. Trusted lending circles. Sounds like peer-to-peer lending, possibly. A decentralized platform for financial projects. Yeah, it sounds like peer-to-peer lending. Pretty. Oh wow, they have Vitalik Buterin as an advisor. I don't know if that's legit or not. If so, then I mean, Vitalik's not even going to get involved unless it's decent. I don't know. Like I said, I've never heard of it before, but I might look into that and see if Vitalik is actually involved in some sort of a direct manner. Anyways, so we started getting off track there. Let's see what I wanted to talk about. I'll get back to questions here in a second. Let's see what we have on YouTube. Okay, nothing on YouTube. So let's get back to some of the news I wanted to talk about. So Tether, there's been some growing skepticism surrounding Tether. This could be founded on solid footing or maybe not. The reason for it is just basically what happens is you can give Tether, the company, a US dollar, and they will give you a Tether USDT, the cryptocurrency, in exchange. And you can also, like Tether, I'm sure all you guys already know this, but the Tether cryptocurrency is tethered directly to the US dollar, so you can always exchange them one-to-one with Tether. But the amount of Tether in supply has been skyrocketing lately. And the thing is, Tether is not very transparent. It's not open and transparent like most people in the crypto space are. And that's what we've come to expect, because blockchain can make everything so very transparent. But Tether is not following that trend. They haven't been very fluid with the audits. So basically, it has been driving a lot of skepticism. People are wondering if they are issuing Tether without holding a dollar in reserve. And if that's the case, if they don't actually have $1 US in reserve for every Tether that they issue, then if there is, for whatever reason, a run on Tether and people are trying to cash out as quickly as possible, it can basically crash the entire ecosystem. This would be really bad, not only for Tether but for Bitcoin and pretty much the broader crypto market. So I think they're supposed to have another audit coming up early next year. That'll be something to keep an eye on. I hold like I think 11 or 12,000 Tether right now. So I just saw this headline this morning. It made me a little bit nervous. I've been looking, trying to move my money out of Tether into some other cryptocurrency that I think is solid, and I'm waiting for something to pull back. Either basically one of the 8 that I'm following. I want something to pull back. I want $35 Neo, 21 cent XRP. I want $65 Litecoin, half a penny Verge, or like 275 Pivx, and 40 to 50 cent from Coin. If I can achieve any of those price targets, I'm going to dump all of my Tether into those coins. However, kind of got off track there. So yeah, it's just something to monitor if you have much of your money in Tether, or in Bitcoin for that matter. I don't think this will be an immediately pressing issue, but it's just something to be mindful of. Next up, another headline that I fetched earlier today. It says, letting customers short Bitcoin, Swiss companies making their move. So without reading you word for word what all this says, I guess there are some Swiss companies that are going to be building an infrastructure that will allow people to short Bitcoin. So the first problem that comes to mind when I think of shorting Bitcoin is, I mean, if you think FUD is bad now, wait until there's profit to be made by crashing Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Like, the FUD is only going to get worse. So we're going to have to get better. If this goes mainstream, if Bitcoin futures and shorting and all that stuff goes mainstream, then we're going to have to become a little bit more prudent at weeding through the BS headlines and finding what is trustworthy and what isn't. And it's difficult. It's really difficult. So it's just something to keep in mind, especially as we approach $10,000. I mean, it's still fresh in our minds. When we hit $5,000, very, very crucial threshold, right? And it just so happened that as soon as we reached that important threshold, all this FUD came onto the scene, right? What's his name? Jamie Dimon started trash talking Bitcoin. That's almost exactly when China decided to start closing down exchanges and closing down or halting the ICOs. All this happened right as Bitcoin reached $5,000, and I always thought that was questionable. So it did generate a massive sell-off, and a lot of people were able to buy Bitcoin at a very attractive comparative price to its all-time high. So I mean, I guess that's good if you're smart enough to read the signs and have patience and wait for that kind of a pullback. But most of us aren't. The reason why I say all that is to say that we're approaching $10,000. I think it's going to happen again. Whatever crypto I hold, when Bitcoin hits 97, 9,800, I'm probably going to dump it all because I think there's going to be a pullback. There's probably going to be some more FUD. We'll just have to see what happens. But yeah, enough said on that. Moving on, what was this one? Oh yeah, so there is still some congestion on the Bitcoin network. Not as bad as it was when Bitcoin Cash was really really making the scene. But I guess fees are still hovering around $5, which is very high for Bitcoin, because part of the case that crypto promoters argue is that it's very, very cheap to conduct transactions through Bitcoin. You know, micro transactions and international transactions. I mean, this is one of the cases that we argue for Bitcoin, and it's not even the case anymore because the prices have gone up. So the reason why that happened before was because a lot of the hash power, like more than half of the hash power, migrated from the Bitcoin network to the Bitcoin Cash network, and it really slowed down the Bitcoin system. And there was a backlog of like 170,000 transactions, I think, at the peak. So it's not that bad anymore. But if you so the way the fees work is you don't have to pay $5. You can pay a lower fee. It's just that your transaction gets placed in a very, very low priority queue. So you could end up waiting. I mean, I tried to conduct a low fee transaction during the height of the migration of the hash power from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash, and it took more than 24 hours. Hold on, I got it. This is an important phone call. Yo, what's up? Can you hear me? All right, that was a mistaken dial. Anyways, looks like we have some more questions coming in, so that's a good stopping place. Let's address the questions. We trust. We already talked about that. Lachlan Reinheimer says NEO is in an upward trend in the last hour. I don't think it'll drop below $39 now. I don't know. I would disagree. Let's go back to the NEO chart. So like I said, this is the trend line we're looking at right now. From the peak, we've fallen, what, call it 48.50 down to about 38.50 right now. So we're down like $10, right? And this trend line has been respected as we continue downwards. Like I said, I've been following this for several hours, 6, 7, 8 hours, and right about through here, it started going back up, and I was like, this is going to be a telling moment for NEO. If we break out here, then we'll probably at least revisit the all-time high. But if not, I think the sell-off is going to continue. So we respected the trend line, and then that was a pretty strong sell-off right there. I mean, we immediately dropped from almost 42 down to below $40. I think we're going to continue downwards. Now, I mean, tomorrow is when we're expecting the announcement from NEO or from China. So I don't think there's going to be a massive sell-off by any means, but I think some of the excitement has died off to an extent. And 35, we're going to have some support at $35. That I'll probably initiate a position at that point, just a small position. But if we see 30 again, that's when I'll probably unload all my tether into NEO. But I don't know. I could be wrong. But I think you might be looking at a micro trend. I mean, from here to here, yeah, sure, uptrend. But over the past like day or so, it's been a straight sell-off. So I would have to disagree there. Oh, so Thomas Gassman commented on my comment. He said Vitalik is an advisor. He's referring to Selfie Coin. So I mean that might be a solid project. I am not sure. Daniel Bartel, he's asking about NEBL. I think that's Neblio. I gave this like a very, very brief glance like yesterday or something. I don't even remember what this project was about. Come on. Alright, open source blockchain solutions for business. Open source products. Let's see, I remember, I know Data Dash covered this not too long ago, but I don't know, I'm starting to see a trend with him. I feel like he, you know what, I don't want to bash anybody, so never mind, I'm not going to say that. I don't know, I really didn't find anything in NEO or Neblio that got me incredibly excited. I kind of discarded it after I did my initial research. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Here's a Twitter, check it out, product release this December. So David Leslie says, I'm sorry I came in late. I caught the last part about Verge. Is it good to buy? So I think it's like a mediocre time to buy Verge. It's one of the 8 that I follow closely. I think it's one of the best and most under-respected privacy coins out there. I think it has the most private network. and it's private from every aspect, from the transaction phase to the deposit phase. Like the actual wallet is incredibly secret, if you will. Even the wallet is powered by a Tor client, so it's pretty awesome. So there was this run up that I talked about on one of our past live streams, but we've sold off to basically where we started talking about it. I think 5 to 6 cents is going to be our support at this point. I mean, it looks like we've already bounced off of 6 cents like a half dozen times there. There doesn't appear to be a downtrend developing. So I think as long as the market overall continues to trend upwards, Verge will as well. And we're going to wait for probably some sort of an announcement to really drive the price higher. But I think that Verge is a safe bet. There's not going to be much selling pressure in the future. I don't see what could possibly drive that. Verge is a very promising project. The development team is solid, and really I have nothing bad to say about Verge. So I think 6 cents, or not 6 cents, 6/10 of a cent, not a bad time to buy. If you're looking for like some serious, like the ideal buy-in target, it's probably down here somewhere at 5 cents or just above. But I keep saying 5 cents, 5/10, 1/2 of a penny. Right. What do you think about Power Ledger? I've been hearing stuff about it, but I haven't looked into it. Like, I don't even know what that is, really. Alright, while that's loading, I'm going to go ahead and get back into some of the news that I wanted to talk about. Just yesterday, we were able to secure an interview with Dr. Lehman Baird. He is the founder and CTO of Swirls Incorporated, and he's an absolute freaking genius, honestly. What makes him different than most of the other geniuses is that he's very articulate as well. He can really break down Hashgraph and the Swirls project. They're trying to basically bring Hashgraph mainstream, and I hope it happens, because if you guys haven't looked into Hashgraph, make sure you check out our video on YouTube. There's an article on our site about Hashgraph that went basically viral. It got thousands of views and like 100 and something shares. That was the most successful article we've ever had on our site here at CryptoAnswers.net. But how did I even get there? Oh yeah, so the interview is live now. We finally got this up. It's posted at CryptoAnswers.net. It is the latest article, the latest release, and we talk about Hashgraph, or Dr. Lehman Baird does. So if you guys haven't checked that out, I highly recommend it. The Hashgraph project, or that technology, it's up and coming. If there's anything that could possibly disrupt blockchain, I mean, blockchain has a reputation of being the most disruptive force on the face of the planet, and for good reason. It's amazing, and everyone everywhere is starting to use it for everything they can possibly weave it into. But Hashgraph might be even better. So do your research on that. We have videos and articles written on it. Make sure you check that out. What else? So yeah, there's all kinds of awesome news in the headlines for Ripple right now. I'm surprised there hasn't been more positive price action. We did jump from 20 cents. I mean, this was kind of our median line there for a while. And now we kind of settled at about 23 cents. So while it is a 15% rise in the price of Ripple, just based on the overwhelmingly positive news as of late, I would have expected more. But I think the reason for that is sort of the Ripple network is in its test phase, right? It is being used by more than 100 financial institutions across the world, but it's not what's the word I'm looking for? Mainstream comes to mind. It's not fully adopted. It is still in its test phase. That's what I'm trying to say. So I think while that is happening, they're trying to keep the price of Ripple consistent. Volatility in the eyes of many investors is bad, and I don't understand that, because volatility means there is a ton of money to be made. However, it also means there's more risk on the table. So I think they are sort of trying to artificially mellow out the price action of Ripple, and they hold a large portion of the overall supply of Ripple, so they can do that. So basically what I'm trying to say is it's going to appreciate slowly over time, but we're not going to see any like massive gains like we see from Bitcoin and stuff like that. I mean, we see spikes like this, but they're always followed with a quick sell-off. So how did I even get in that? What was this article about? Oh yeah, so I think there was somebody from the IMF. The IMF, someone from the IMF is basically speculating that the IMF could start to use Ripple. If that happens, then it's going to take off, obviously. But I've also heard speculation that the IMF is going to create their very own self-governed cryptocurrency. And if that happens, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think that would be a good thing. I'm done with that one. Let's see here. No comments on YouTube. Let's go back to price action. We've seen Bitcoin is still pretty much flat. I'll go back to the questions here in just a sec. I want to glance at the price action. NEO is still holding strong at $40. Everything's flat right now, like completely flat in the past 30-40 minutes, however long we've been streaming. Back to the questions. Let's see what else we have here. Alex, I'm going to say Smiley. I'm pretty sure that's not how you pronounce your last name, but it would be awesome if it was. Alex Smiley says, to be honest, I think power will flower this month. A very nice choice of words. That's very cute. I like it. I'll have to look into it later. I don't really want to do all that research right now here while we're live, but who knows? It could be an awesome project. Looks like a decent website. Do they have here's a holy cow! Look at all these white papers. What in the world? This is interesting. Oh, this is just probably the same white paper in different languages. I don't know. It looked interesting. I'll definitely look into that. Let's see what Crypto Panic has to offer. A couple new headlines. Roger Ver. Okay. Okay, IOTA. Man, there have been so many positive headlines and positive developments for IOTA as of late. I talk about it pretty much every live stream that we do. Always talk about 10x. I haven't yet on this stream. Always 10x, always IOTA, because those are two of my top picks long term. Now IOTA, it rode down all the way with Bitcoin. I don't know why it sold off all the way down to like what was this, like 20 something cents, the recent low. It made no sense, and it's climbing back up. We're almost back up to $1 now, 86 cents, and we're off the recent high even at that. But there've been a lot of positive developments. The algorithm behind it is Tangle. It uses a Tangle network, which is absolutely freaking awesome. It makes it infinitely scalable. It solves the whole scalability issue that Bitcoin faces. I think IOTA is incredibly promising, and finally we're starting to see a run up in the price. I have never held a position in IOTA, and now I'm kicking myself for it because there was a lot of money to be made, and completely missed out on it. But whatever, bygones shall be bygones. We already talked about that. What was this? Oh, so Japan has been commanding 2/3 of the global Bitcoin volume. So, back to the question that was asked about what is causing the run-up in the price of Bitcoin. Japan is causing the run-up in the price of Bitcoin. So, I mean, Japan, let's see here. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, we wrote an article on this. This was back in September, the very end of September. Japan had licensed almost a dozen exchanges because China was closing down their exchanges, and those people had to go somewhere. So, I mean, they're going to be more comfortable staying within an Asian network for that, just because, you know, they, how do I say this without sounding like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of, you know, Chinese people that understand Japanese and Korean and stuff like that. They find it easier to learn other Asian languages than like we do as like native English speakers. But what I'm trying to say is Japan is now carrying a lot of that trade volume that China was before. So we're looking at 67% based on this article written earlier today by Bitcoin.com. The US dollar is number 2 at 17%, South Korea number 3 at 9%. So I thought that was pretty interesting. We'll just have to see. Maybe that'll change tomorrow. Maybe this big announcement that some people were expecting will actually come to fruition, and NEO will spike through the roof. And who knows? Who knows? But for now, NEO chilling. So we are approaching this trend line again. I'll be curious to see what happens. Maybe we can continue the stream until it does. But I think if we bounce off of it again, we're going to be looking at about $35, and it might be time to initiate a position at that point. Alexander Paez asked the question: what are the top 8 altcoins? All right, so we've talked about a couple already, and I'm showing a few of them up here. I'll go ahead and say Litecoin, NEO, Civic, another altcoin that I've never held a position in. I just haven't been able to make myself pull the trigger. Civic, as some of you probably well know, it is a, I always want to call it a privacy coin. It's not. It's, it was created to, it's an identity coin. There you go. It protects people's identity. So you probably heard about Equifax being hacked. It's been all over the news in recent weeks. Shoot, it may have been a month ago by now. I'm not sure. Basically, Civic is designed to prevent things like that from happening in the future. It just needs to be adopted. That's the only thing that we're waiting for with Civic. There is a massive market for it. If it can start to draw on that market share from Equifax and these other centralized companies that have proven time and time again that they cannot manage our identities very well at all. They just can't provide unhackable, secure networks to store that information on. Whereas Civic can, because they use the blockchain, and the blockchain has never been hacked. So I'm very bullish on Civic long term. Short term, I mean, we've pretty much been in a downtrend for a very long time. So I'm just questioning, like, you know, when's the best time to buy? When are we going to start seeing? I mean, I don't know why we didn't see any positive price action after the Equifax hack. I really don't. That's really surprising. Someone actually commented on that in one of our past live streams, and that's what made me look into it, really do some in-depth research on Civic. And the guy was right. I mean, it's a solid program. I don't know why it's not benefiting from that news. So that was what, number 3? Litecoin, NEO, Civic, Grosso Coin. This is another interesting one. We've seen some massive price action recently. It's at about 58 cents right now. I think that's a little bit pricey. We are in a downtrend, like an overall downtrend right now. So that's why I don't want to get into Grosso Coin. But what makes this altcoin stand out over the others is the fact that it has been used as a test network for Litecoin in the past. As a result, it is Lightning Eclipse. It is SegWit Eclipse. I think atomic swaps have been conducted with Grosso Coin. Let me Google that just to make sure I'm not lying to you. Grosso Coin atomic swap. I'm pretty sure. Come on. Are there plans to test Lightning Network implementations, atomic swaps? Yes, there are plans to test Lightning Network and atomic swaps. This must be an old article. This is earlier this year. I think they already activated SegWit and all that since then. And that's why we've seen, or we previously saw, this massive run-up in the price. It was very unfortunate. I was basically doing the research while this started, and then I was just like, you know what, I'm going to wait for it to come back down to where it was, then start my position. Anyways, it just kept going, and it like quadrupled in price, and I was like, I'm going to jump off a bridge now, because that was like, this was the moment I was waiting for. This was the coin that I was waiting for. I discovered it at like a few hours too late is what happened. Anyways, long term, I think Grosso Coin is going to be amazing. They have an active development team. Every 3 months, they've basically promised to deliver some sort of upgrade to their network, an upgrade to their system every 3 months. Very active development team, and I think if we can wait for this to sell off back down to 40 to 50 cents, at 50 cents we're still looking at, you know, some medium risk. At 40 cents, very low risk, and I think very high reward for Grosso Coin, because as the awareness of Grosso Coin grows, more and more investors are going to become interested. I'm pretty sure no one is aware that it's SegWit and Lightning Eclipse. I mean, that makes it essentially, that means it's more technologically advanced than Bitcoin. It's basically a better coin than Bitcoin at this point. Now, it's obviously, Bitcoin is a digital gold, so Grosso Coin doesn't have that going for it. It never will. But I think we could start to see Grosso Coin adopted as an actual exchange currency. So we'll just see what's going to happen there. But 40 cents, I think, is going to be your target for Grosso Coin. So that's 5. Verge is going to be number 6. Pivx I'm watching because I think it's an excellent day trading coin. It just goes up and down and up and down and up and down like multiple times per day. So it would be easy to just kind of scalp here and there, make 5 or 10 cents here and there. In long term Pivx is pretty solid. If you look at I mean, look, it does nothing but go up long term. So if something happens and maybe I don't know, you bought right here because you thought it was going to continue to go up and then it went down. I mean, it doesn't matter. Long term, it's gonna go up. I think just looking at the macro trend here, and I just did research on it. I can't remember what my opinion was of the development team, but let's go ahead and throw Pivx in there as number 7 because it is a pretty solid altcoin. We're just looking for one more. Oh, IOTA and 10x and 10x. I think I would actually replace Pivx with 10x. So that's going to be my top 8. IOTA, 10x, and the other 6, whatever. I already forgot. Good question, though. What else do we have here? Someone, your name starts with a Y. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not going to try. You said, will it be possible for it to go up to 15 again? Man, I'm sorry. I'm not sure exactly what currency you're talking about. What could you be talking about? $15, 15 cents? I don't know. I'm sorry. If you can be a little bit more specific, I'll be willing. Oh, GRS, Grosso Coin. Okay, thank you for adding that. Let's go back to the chart. So I think you mean like $1.50, right? So long term, sure. I think it could go back up to $1.50. It's going to take a while though. Usually when you see these like a massive run up and then this slow sell off, it could be months, it could be a year, it could be a while. The reason why I threw 40 cents out there as a good buy-in target, it's very low risk, but I think near term you can turn a very, very quick profit if you are able to initiate a position at 40 cents. Whether or not we're going to see 150 or 130, whatever the all-time high is, I don't think it'll happen in the near future. The sell-off's going to continue just a little bit longer. I mean, it looks like we're pretty much already consolidating around 40 cents. So we're going to continue consolidating. We're going to hold that for a little while. We'll gradually, it happens all the time. Gradually, we'll start to go back up. There will be some technical analysts out there. I'm going to throw out a name, Data Dash. Going to pick up on this. He's going to see the trend reversal, and he's going to start to hype it. And then it's going to start to go back up, and there's going to be another sell-off. But the trend will have changed, and basically, all right, I'm just speaking bullshit right now. But I think it's going to take a while to revisit the high. I would focus on patience and initiating a very, very low risk position. All right, so same guy asked the question, do you have YouTube? And yes, so we're streaming this on YouTube, Facebook, what's it called, Twitch, a couple other platforms. Let me go ahead and pull up our YouTube. You can just basically go to YouTube and type in crypto answers. Crypto answers. Bam. It's going to be the first result. There you go. Navigate to it. Man, I meant to lead with this. I completely forgot. We just exceeded the 100 subscriber threshold, so that's awesome. I wanted to make sure that I thanked everyone for the support. Thank you for watching the live streams and for asking these awesome questions. It makes the live streams much more lively, obviously, and everyone benefits from it. So thank you for your input and for your questions and for your support. We finally broke 100 subscribers on YouTube, That's I mean, from everything, the research that I've done, that's usually crucial. Like after that, it's easier to continue to grow your support base on YouTube after that. But so YouTube is one of our like smallest platforms. You know, I mean, we have like 41 viewers right now on Facebook, and I think we have like 4 on YouTube. We have 5 on YouTube. Just to kind of put that in perspective, I think we have like 1,600 followers on Facebook. Um, so yeah, good question. I'm glad you asked. We are definitely trying to, you know, kind of gravitate some of our followers from Facebook to YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed, we always upload any video that we do. We eventually migrate that to cryptoanswers.net, to our website, but we upload it to YouTube first. So if you want to be the first one to know, then you might want to go ahead and navigate to Crypto Answers, to our YouTube account there, and subscribe. Then you'll be in the know. You'll be the first to know. Excellent question. We do have a branded YouTube channel. So Matt Zane says, sorry, I missed your top 8. What do you think of BTX Bitcore weekly airdrops? So just to quickly recap my top 8, it was IOTA, 10x, Litecoin, Neo, Civic, Grosso Coin, Verge. I'm missing one. Whatever. That's 7 of the 8. Never heard of BTX. I don't think it's BTX. Oh, that is Bitcore. No idea. Max supply, a little bit less than Bitcoin. Circulating supply, So, I mean, interesting. Very low supply. That's why it's already at $28. It's a relatively new currency. Its inception was early May. Rank 125. Total supply 16.6 million. Circulating 1.2 million. So one thing I kind of worry about there is that I'm not sure what the block time or the block size is going to be, but in order to, like, just putting this in perspective, there's like 16.7 million Bitcoin in circulation right now. The max supply is 21 million. So we're fairly close to the threshold, and the inflation that we're seeing in Bitcoin is relatively low compared to what we saw in its infant stages. I almost would speculate, just without doing much research, that since we're in the infant stages of this particular coin, there's going to be a lot of inflation because the circulating supply is so much lower than the total supply, and that could suppress the price action in the near term. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. Maybe the block time is high and the block size is low. I'm not sure. But the volume, the 24-hour volume, is impressive, almost $6 million. So there is some awareness. There is some people are interested. So I'm not sure. Let's just check it out here real quick. Bitcore claiming service. Yeah, I have no idea what it is. Airdrop registration form. What is Bitcore? Airdrop for Bitcoin holders. Claiming. Alright, so the first snapshot already passed 30 October. Isn't that the same date that the Bitcoin Gold snapshot was taken? I wonder if this is related. We made a new snapshot on the 2nd of November. Those 5 million addresses are able to claim BTX Core for free. Interesting. I held Bitcoin throughout those dates. I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to look into this. I'll keep that window up. I'll do some research. I am not sure. Got some kind of question. Okay, that's not relevant to this live stream. Anyways, what else do we have for questions? So Segwit 2x is coming soon, right? What can you say about that? Ooh, good question. Good question. Segwit 2x happened. It already happened, guys. So it was abandoned by the core development team, right? And that is what kind of crashed the price of Bitcoin in the recent past, and then the uprising of Bitcoin Cash also suppressed the price of Bitcoin there for a while. There's a little bit of a scare, but there were some small-time developers that actually took the Segwit 2x code and they made it happen. Segwit 2x has already been launched. It's live. However, it was a colossal failure. Like, I mean, I say it's live. They tried to go live and it crashed the network, and like I said, it was a colossal failure. Let me see if I can find a headline on this. Segwit 2x goes live. I can't type. Man, I'm not going to be able to find this headline now. Crypto Panic is where I saw the headline. Let's see if son of a gun. I really want to find this so you know that I'm not BSing you. Someone actually decided to go through with Segwit 2x, but they had no idea. All right, this may have been it. This may have been it. Let's check it out. All right. What? How did it take me back to Crypto Panic? Anyways, looks like I'm not going to be able to. Oh. Whatever. Someone took it live. It was a colossal failure. I think that we might be able to lay the Segwit 2x issue to rest. I think futures are still trading. We have so Segwit 2x futures right now are under $100 because the launch was a complete failure. So nobody wants to take much of a gamble on it as of now. But I think that's going to be dropped here in the near future. Segwit 2x was a fail. We're moving on. Good question though. Good question. Because there's no awareness on that at all. Good question. You mentioned an ICO or coin intended to sell photographs. Has your stand changed on that? Dude, awesome. Good question. So yeah, you're talking about PhotoChain, and I'm gonna go ahead and take you to our website. Crypto Answers. Oh, so there's the video. That's a link to the video on YouTube. I'll go ahead and pull up the article real quick. Bam, PhotoChain. So yeah, we interviewed the Harris Rana. He is the community master. I can't think of the word right now. He's basically in charge of spreading awareness for PhotoChain, right? So we were fortunate enough to be able to interview him and get a lot of insight on the development team and what they have planned for their project. Basically what PhotoChain is, I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty details. If you want that, just navigate to our website, watch the video from there, or navigate to our YouTube channel and watch the video there. But what they're trying to do is decentralize photo stocks. So if you're aware of like Shutterstock, maybe that's probably the most well-known photo stock out there. It's basically a very, very, very centralized network that allows photographers to distribute their portfolios globally, right? So I mean that's awesome. It allows photographers to make some money. However, because can't think, Shutterstock is centralized, they're liable to shareholders, so they have to always be increasing their profits. They have a lot of overhead to take care of. Basically, they're taking almost all the profit out of it for these photographers, right? So what PhotoChain is trying to do is take photo stock, embed it onto the blockchain, and make it very, very, very cheap, almost free, for photographers to host their portfolios. So basically, the pre-ICO is going live here very soon. I forget the date. If it's not live already, it's going to be in the month of December, or the very end of November. And then there's going to be the ICO, and I think it's going to be about a year, just from what I remember about their roadmap. It's going to be about a year before their blockchain-based photo chalk is actually live. But obviously during that point, their coin, which is going to be called photons. So their coins are called photons, which I think is awesome because that's the most basic element of light, the most basic element of photography. So pretty genius name for the coin. But it's going to be traded on the exchanges between the pre-ICO the SEO and the launch of their photo stock. But they do have, let's see if I can pull this up. They do have a demo live that you can navigate to and use. Demo.photochain.io is the demo, and usually it loads a lot faster. Do I have? No, it's not running in the background. I don't know why it's loading so slowly right now. This is weird. I've never had a problem with it in the past. Maybe they're working on it right now. I wouldn't be surprised. But anyways, if you watch our video on it, we did the interview, but I spliced in a portion where we actually showcased the demo in our video. So yeah, feel free to check that out. It seems very, very user-friendly, very easy to use. And photographers, they're going to be able to set their own price for their photos. You can just go in, you can buy one photo at a time if that's what you want to do. Whereas on Shutterstock, you basically buy credits, but I think the minimum like purchase is like 10 photo credit. Like you have to buy 10 or more photos at a time, 10, 25, like I don't know. Anyways, it seems annoying because when do you need 25 photos? I don't know. Like for me, like for Crypto Answers, you know, we write articles and then we have a nice attractive photo to kind of represent the article. But I only need one. I don't need 25. So whatever. You can just buy one photo at a time using PhotoChain, and they're very, very cheap. You know, comparative to Shutterstock, or I think they will be. But whatever the case is, photographers who utilize PhotoChain are going to be able to claim 95% of all the profit that their photos generate, which is awesome because the profit margin using Shutterstock is like 10% or something like that, 10-15% on the low end, and with PhotoChain it's going to be like 95%. So they're only going to be taking 5% of the profits to continue to develop the PhotoChain network. I think that's healthy. That's awesome. So yeah, we're very, very bullish on PhotoChain and very eager to continue to follow it and see what they're able to produce. Very, very good question. What else do we have here? What's the maximum number of coins do you recommend any person hold at one time? Well, if you're talking about like different cryptocurrencies, it doesn't matter, man. Like I would say the more the merrier. You're basically just what's the word I'm looking for? You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. The opposite of that would be, why can I not think right now? It's probably because we've been streaming for an hour and I'm starting to lose my voice too. I'm gonna have to get a drink of water here in a minute. But I forgot the question. Oh yeah, so there's no limit. I mean, I have probably a dozen coins right now. There's no reason to limit yourself to a certain amount of coins. If you find a project that is promising, you've done the research, they have an excellent white paper, an excellent development team. You've done technical analysis, you found support. You can buy in at that support level and just ride it all the way. Like there's no reason not to buy more and more coins, as long as you have the capital to do so. All I recommend if you're doing that, if you're let's say you're invested in like 30 different coins, make sure you're able to allocate enough time to monitor them as you go, and whenever like one of them attains a new all-time high or they spike up and you're able to realize a profit, I would just kind of rotate your money out and move it into one of the other coins. And just kind of, I mean, that's what I do. Like that's why Neo, I bought it at $28. It has been going up. There's a question on it in the chat. I'm gonna get to it here in a sec. I rode it all the way up to 40. I sold at 40. I wasn't sure if it was going to continue to go up or not. I wanted to realize some of those profits just in case, mostly because I messed up with Bitcoin Cash and it scarred me for life, and I'll never do that again. I'll never get that greedy. At least that's what I say. Anyways, I wanted to take my risk off the table and realize those profits and just roll it into something else. And that's what I've done. But yeah, just make sure you monitor it and you are able to realize the profits when you can and just roll it into something else. And then obviously there's some that you're probably going to want to be invested in long term, like Verge, Ripple, Litecoin. Very, very, very solid long term holds. Unless there's almost no reason to to realize your profits on those and take it off the table, unless there's a quick spike, like in Ripple. If we went from 23 to 30 cents for Ripple right now, sure, sell it, because historically every time it happens, it crashes right afterwards, and then you're just left with regret. Anyways, kind of got off topic there. NEO is going up. What do you think about that? All right, we've been talking about this throughout the live stream. Valid question for sure. Man, it's been flat for the past half hour. It's just like unable to pass that $40 threshold. So the reason for it, the reason for the run up in price, my throat is killing me. I'm gonna grab some water. Give me just a few seconds. And we're back. Hold on. So basically, this is entirely a hype-based run-up in the price. So I wouldn't get too excited. There's no fundamental reason for this price action, and that's another reason why I wanted to sell my NEO and just get it off the table. All right, there's some questions on YouTube. Sweet, I'm gonna get to those here in just a sec. Hold on. I'm gonna finish talking about NEO here. So here was our ride to the top. We topped out at 48.50-ish, and we've been in a downtrend ever since. Already talked about this once. We have been respecting this downtrend. We're about to hit it again, and this is going to be a pivotal moment, a very, very telling moment. If we aren't able to break out, then we're going to continue the sell-off. Like I said, it's completely only hype generated. So I don't know that I would recommend initiating a new position right now. 35 maybe. Now, again, the reason for the hype, someone somewhere said there's going to be a big announcement coming out of China or from NEO on Monday, right? This is all rumor, this is all hearsay. Whether it's going to happen or not, I don't know. If it does, there's going to be some money to be made. But that's a gamble that you have to be willing to take. That's risk that you have to be willing to accept if you're going to be buying NEO at the current price. So now you know everything that I know. I'm not willing to accept that risk, especially since this is the price that I bought or that I sold it at. That just seems pretty counterintuitive. I'm gonna wait for a pullback, possibly look at a new position at $35. But yeah, that's the reason for it. All right, let's see what we have here at YouTube. Andre says, "Hey, any take on Vertcoin?" All right, good question. We covered this maybe a couple of weeks back in one of our live streams. Man, I'm gonna have to do just a quick look at Vertcoin to refresh my memory. It's a solid project. I definitely remember that much. I did some day trading of it not too long ago. It ran up to like what, $5.50, maybe almost $6, and I think the trading volume for Bitcoin or Vertcoin has been holding pretty steadily. Yeah, it's starting to taper off. It is starting to taper off. 710 Bitcoin. That's like what, like 7,000, 70,000, 700,000. Why can't I do math? That's still quite a bit of volume. I mean, you know, top 10 most traded coins on Bitcoin market. I forget. Decentralized currency, financial system. Bitcoin is not controlled by large banks or mined hardware. It can be mined. All right, so there's 84 million. Block time is 2.5 minutes. 50 coins per block. Let's do a quick look here. So we're about halfway to achieving the max supply. There's 41 million circulating right now. The max supply is 84 million. So there's a lot of coins being dumped onto the market right now. I think that's suppressing the price a little bit. But I do remember that the development team is pretty solid. There's been a lot of excitement around Vertcoin. Unfortunately, I think some of it has been hype. I've seen a lot of YouTubers make videos on Vertcoin. But I don't know. We are holding this run up pretty solidly. I mean, we're only you know, a couple bucks off the all-time high there. Let's look at the 1 month chart. I don't know. I was able to make a little bit of money off of Vertcoin a couple weeks back, just, you know, buying low, selling high. But I don't really have a good, you know, price target, like an initiation target or a sell target for you, because I haven't done any analysis recently. But it is a pretty solid coin. Really, it doesn't offer a whole lot of interesting characteristics that other coins don't offer. It's just, I don't have anything bad to say about it, but it does have a lot of competition. I mean, it's got to overcome, you know, Litecoin, all those other like basic currencies that are just supposed to be used for transactions. It doesn't really have much of a leg up, but it does have a solid development team, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. What else? What else? Were there more questions on YouTube? Great stuff, and you're welcome. Yeah, thanks again for the question. Good stuff. Good to see interaction on YouTube. So, Yaner, I'm just gonna call you Yaner. If that's not that's probably not your name, but that's the best I got. It said Bitcoin Cash really hit the top. I was there. Now it crashed. I did stick some Bitcoin in there. Will it go back up to 30 this year? By 30, I think you mean 3,000. I don't know, man. I don't know. The way we pulled back from the all-time high, I think it was at like 2,800 or something, like just shy of 3,000. It was incredible. Like, I pretty much had a heart attack because it dropped from 2,800 to 1,800 in seconds. I watched it unfold live. I had like 4 Bitcoin Cash at the time. I could have locked in like a $6,000 or $7,000 profit, and I didn't because I am a moron. I'm not a moron, but I was greedy. I let greed get the better of me. I should have sold half of it at least. Just take some of that risk off the table because there was already so much profit in it. Oh my gosh, regrets. Anyways, yeah, it fell from 28 to 1,800 like almost immediately. We're talking seconds. I don't think it even took a minute for it to happen. I was looking at Bittrex. Bittrex still showed 2,800. Trading View showed 1,800. I was like, wait, what? That's got to be an error. Like, that can't be real life. That can't be legit. And then Bittrex started selling off, and in moments it was down to 1,800. So I wish I would have recorded it because it would be awesome to showcase it. Like, there was so much price action. Like, we'll never see that again ever in history, probably. It was pretty awesome. Do I think we're going to get back up to $3,000 this year? No, not this year. We only have another month to go. I think a lot of that run-up was hype generated. Roger Ver, I think, probably made a massive profit on that. The Bitcoin mining network has become very centralized, as has the Bitcoin Cash mining network. So I think they were able to manipulate the price by basically shifting a lot of the hash power over to the other network. So I mean, I wrote an article on this. I wrote 2 articles on this. To me, there were a lot of technical reasons for the run up in the price as it was happening because I mean, at one point the hash power of the Bitcoin Cash network was double Bitcoin. That's crazy, and that's why there was such a backlog in the Bitcoin transactions. Like, the remaining miners that were trying to handle the incredible trade volume on the Bitcoin network were simply unable to do it. Like, they did not have enough hash power to make it happen. And as a result, there was like a 170,000 transaction backlog in the Bitcoin network. The transaction price went up to beyond double digits, $10, $12, $15 per transaction, made it completely unrealistic to conduct any transaction for Bitcoin under like $1,000. Where was I going with that? Yeah, crazy price action. I don't think we're going to get back up to 3,000 this year, and I'm not sure that we're going to be able to hold the current price either. What are we at? 1,200, 1,250. Oh, we're back under 1,200. We're selling off. I think it's going to continue. I was surprised that we saw 1,300. I don't even know what caused that, but I think the sell-off will continue. We're not going to see 3,000 again this year. But yeah, good question. All right. What do you think of Bitcoin Gold in the future? Wait, did I skip a question? Nope, that was the next question. What do you think of Bitcoin Gold? So I really like the Bitcoin Gold idea. I don't think it has been executed very well. They haven't been very transparent with the rollout. There was a apparently the developers embedded something in the code to where 0.5% of all the transactions, or all the coins that were mined, I forget exactly, but 0.5% of all of it was going to be sent back to their wallet, like to the core development team's wallet. So they didn't disclose that up front. I don't particularly have anything against them doing that. I mean, their project should be funded. We want it to be successful, so it should be funded. Also, I think they deserve to be compensated for their work. I mean, they're probably working around the clock, day in and day out, trying to get Bitcoin Gold up and running, get it off the ground there. They're working long hours. They're doing technical work that none of the rest of us can do. I think they should be compensated. So sure, take 0.5% for yourself. I don't have a problem with that particularly, but you have to disclose it, man. You got to be upfront and honest about it. That's what the crypto community expects, because that's the trend. Everyone releases their white paper. It's full disclosure. The code is always fully disclosed, and they should have been forthright with that, and they weren't. So I mean, before that information came out, Bitcoin Gold futures were at like $450. Now they've sold off. We're at like what, 150 or something. Let me go ahead and refresh this. Ooh, I think we're at 140, 150 for Bitcoin Gold futures. Ooh, we're back below 140. I mean, I would buy Bitcoin Gold right now if I could. It's just I'm gonna wait until it's available on Bittrex, and it's not. We have Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Dark, and Bitcoin. That's it. They don't have Bitcoin Gold yet. The first Bitcoin Gold wallet was released today. Free wallet released. A publicly available Bitcoin Gold wallet. That's the only one that's available as far as I know. So yeah, right now Bitcoin Gold. I don't think the mining code has been released either, so there's still a lot to be done there. I'm bullish on it. I really like the idea of the whole decentralization of the mining of Bitcoin. I mean, we just saw recently that it has become an incredible problem. Not only because, well, first and foremost, like I already talked about, the fact that one mining pool can just shift all the hash power from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash and create this perception that people are dumping Bitcoin and abandoning Bitcoin and shifting over to Bitcoin Cash. They single-handedly created that perception because they control so much of the mining pool, so much of the hash power. I don't like that at all. That's not healthy. That is not how Bitcoin was supposed to be. Bitcoin Gold is supposed to solve that, and I hope that they do. I mean, they got to get their shit together though, because when was the snapshot taken? It was like late November sometime. The hard fork actually happened on the 1st of... Wait, what am I saying? It is November right now. So the snapshot was taken at the end of October. The hard fork happened at the 1st of November. And... wait. Am I getting my dates mixed? Anyways. There's been a lot of... It's the 19th now. And there's one wallet available. The mining code has not been made available. There's been issues with transparency. Like, they just haven't done a good job of releasing a functional program. So I'm pretty disappointed so far, but I still have high hopes that eventually they're going to make it happen. I like the idea that they are using EquaHash as their algorithm. So anyone, anywhere can mine it with their computer if it has a GPU. It is ASIC resistant, meaning most of the hash power is controlled through ASICs right now, most of the Bitcoin hash power. So all that hash power is going to, well, it can't be used to mine Bitcoin Gold because it's ASIC resistant. So it's going to decentralize, in theory, it will decentralize the mining of Bitcoin, or Bitcoin Gold. Whether or not it will replace Bitcoin ever in the future, I don't know. I kind of, deep down in my soul, I kind of hope that it does, because I like the decentralized mining, the idea of decentralized mining. I don't think it'll ever replace Bitcoin as a store of value, as digital gold. I don't know that that'll ever happen. That will ever happen, but it might replace Bitcoin Gold as a straight up medium of exchange. That could happen. That is yet to be seen. We're nowhere near that right now, obviously. Nowhere near that. However, who knows? So that was a very, very long answer to a very, very good question. Thank you for asking it. Let's see what else we have here. We already talked about Vertcoin. Opinion on selling to NiceHash. I'm currently giving it a try. Yeah, man, I've been doing that for about, I guess, a week, because I've been making about $1 a day doing it. I'm only using my laptop, or 2 different laptops, and neither of them are really like baller, like they don't have baller GPUs, so I'm not able to generate much hash power, but I am making $1 a day, and since I'm staying in a hotel right now on someone else's dime, I'm taking full advantage of that free power and just mining 24/7. Not right now, because it would slow down my connection to my live stream, but I'm pretty impressed with NiceHash so far. It is the most, if you're looking to just get into mining, if you want to dip your toe into mining and just kind of feel it out, I would recommend NiceHash. Now, by using this program, you're not directly mining. You're mining indirectly by lending your GPU power to someone else who is directly mining. So, pretty cool concept, but it's very, very, very easy to set up. You just go to miner.nicehash.com, and all you need to know is whether your GPU is NVIDIA or AMD. If it's NVIDIA, that's ideal, because you click it, it downloads. Once it's downloaded, you click it. You click like, yes, I agree, blah, 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 and then it launches. Once it's launched, you have to set your wallet, meaning just harvest your private key from wherever, copy it, paste it into here, click OK, your wallet's set up, and then you have to, what's the word I'm looking for? Dude, it's on the tip of my tongue. You have to set up your worker, right? You have to, basically benchmark. That's what I was looking for. You have to benchmark your worker, so it'll determine, what to expect out of each and every algorithm. It does it all on its own. It'll take, maybe 5 minutes, does everything autonomously, and then you're set up. Then you click start, and looky there. I am generating free Bitcoin by using NiceHash. It took like, 2 seconds to get started there, and now we are mining. I don't want to leave it running because it's going to slow down my computer. But, look at that, 10,000 Satoshis per day, 82 cents per day. Not bad, and I make about a quarter of that by using my my other laptop as well. But yeah, you can make some pretty nice money with NiceHash if you had like 4, 6, 8 GPUs hooked up. I'm using a 970, but they have like a 1080 Ti. I think that's the best one for NiceHash. You link those together, and you can really produce some nice hash power and make, with 4 of those, you could probably make $40 a day using NiceHash. That adds up. I mean, $40 a day is what, $1,200 a month? I mean, who among us couldn't use $1,200 a month? Now, obviously, the upfront investment would be pretty big. I think it's $700 for a 1080 Ti. So 4 of those is going to run you, $2,800. Call it $3,000 for rough numbers. You're going to have to build a setup for it. That's going to be another, $500 unless you build it from scratch yourself. You're going to have to buy a motherboard, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be $4,000 or $5,000 before it's all said and done, but then you're going to be making $1,200 a month. So that's pretty awesome. I just did that research yesterday. That's why it's all fresh in my mind. I want to do that, but since I am away from home right now, I'm going to wait until I go home to get that all set up. I don't want to have to lug, freaking 4 massive, like a whole system. I don't want to build it, go to all that effort, and then have to dismantle it to safely get it home. So I'm just going to wait. But yeah, I do like NiceHash. Very easy to use, very easy for, ideal for beginners. There you go. What do you think about XVG? Brian Shepard, I recognize that name. I want to say you've been in almost all the live streams, so welcome Brian Shepard to the stream. We talked about this already. You must not have been here. No big deal. I'm a huge fan of Verge, actually. It is one of the 8 that I've been following closely. It is a privacy coin. It's one of the best privacy coins. They have their own wallets, and the wallet itself uses a Tor client so that deposits made into the wallet are completely private. It cannot be traced. It's the most secure private coin out there, so that's why I like Verge. Like it has that to offer. It is more private than anything else. I think the awareness just isn't there yet. I guess it is fairly. Let's see. Check out what the max supply is. I think it's pretty high. What is that? Jesus, 16.5 billion max supply for Verge. We're almost there already, so there's not going to be a whole lot of inflation. That's good. But I mean, it's ranked 69, so it's actually relatively expensive. You know what? I'm glad you asked the question and that we were able to put this in perspective. I'm just comparing its rank and its market cap to Bitcoin. It is relatively expensive from that perspective. So I guess the awareness is there after all. So I think with that in mind, I would wait for a little bit of a pullback. I don't know. It's been steadily going upwards. We've already had the pullback. I don't know. I'm pretty bullish on Verge. I don't know that I'm willing to really throw a lot of capital at it at this point. But I think where we're at right now, 3/5 of a penny, I think that's pretty attractive. Ideally half a penny, but I don't know. It's probably gonna go steadily upwards. We'll see another upward tear, and then it'll pull back again. But we're gonna hold on to some of those gains. Every time it happens, we'll hold on to some of the gains because it is such a solid coin, solid project. Let's look at the live prices real quick. Bitcoin 8,060. It's been going up ever so slowly since we've been streaming here. Ethereum flat. Bitcoin Cash selling off. Litecoin going up ever so slowly. Neo completely flat. Can't break 40. IOTA. I love IOTA. It's still going up. I am still kicking myself for not buying it. EOS. Holy crap! Almost $2. Ripple flat. All right, cool. What else do we have for questions? What do you think about Bitcoins? Never looked into it. I don't know anything about it. I'm sorry. Barry Johnson says it was a pump and dump, though. So there you go. There's one opinion. Rita wants me to suggest a good portfolio for $1,000 investment. That's a great question. That's a great question. Let's see here. I mean, how do you want to be positioned? Do you want to be like long-term solid, or do you want to try to kind of day trade it? If you want to try to day trade it, look at Neo. This is the most highly traded coin right now. I'll just show you here. More than 14,000 Bitcoin worth of Neo have traded hands today. That is incredible. That's just Bitcoin alone. 18,000 Ethereum worth have traded hands today. That's just Ethereum alone, and this is just Bittrex. So I mean, Neo is drawing a lot of attention right now, and we've seen a lot of price action because of it. So if you're willing to accept some risk and try to make a quick penny, look at Neo. But you're going to need some technical know-how. You need to know how to break this down technically. So I don't know. Maybe that's not for you. Let's see. What else can you do? Grossa coin, I think, is another attractive, like short-term day trade kind of coin. As is Pivx, because I mean, if you're looking at this chart here, it goes up and down all day. It trades within a range, and once you identify that range, I mean, you can just buy low, sell high, do it over and over again, and scalp profits. I haven't done it yet. I just started following Pivx, but again, another pretty good day trade coin, I do believe. If you want to position yourself long term, you're going to want to look at Litecoin, Ripple, Civic. Let's see what else I can pull up here to jog my memory. Ethereum. Ethereum is another really good long-term hold. I love IOTA, but we've just seen too much appreciation recently. There's got to be a pullback. There's been a lot of headlines, a lot of hype, really. I mean, it's a good project, don't get me wrong. Long-term, solid, but I think we're going to see a pullback here pretty soon. Maybe wait for a pullback in IOTA, and then put part of it in IOTA. What else? What else? What else? EOS again, pretty solid, but it's almost $2. We were down at like 60, 70 cents not too long ago. There's going to be a pullback. Oh man, what else? TenX for the long-term hold. TenX is waiting for its banking license. It's waiting for acceptance in the U.S. If that ever happens, though, it might have to accept some regulation. What else? I covered this in depth in a live stream. I remember there were 3 key things we're waiting on that will enable TenX to really take off. Oh, scalability. So TenX, there's like hundreds of thousands of cards on back order. People are trying to get their TenX cards and start using it. Here's the thing: there's more demand for TenX than they can handle. So they refuse to issue the cards. Because if they issue the cards, people are going to want to use them. People are going to want to use them, and their infrastructure cannot handle it right now. They have to figure out a way to scale in order to really take advantage of the demand. So once that happens, if they can solve the scalability issue, they'll immediately ship out those cards, and like we'll just see like 500,000 people start using TenX overnight. It's going to be unreal when that happens. Long term, I would recommend hodling some TenX. If that does happen, if they're able to solve their scalability issue, then we're gonna surpass the all-time high. It won't take very long. The all-time high is like $4 or $5, something like that. It's at 169 right now. Long term, we're gonna exceed it. It's just a matter of time. They have to solve the scalability issue. They have to obtain their banking license. They're trying to in various countries. If they can even get a license in one country, that would be huge. So they can start issuing their own cards, and they don't have to seek out a middleman for that. That would be awesome. So yeah, long term, TenX. I talked about PIVX earlier. Really good long-term trend, really healthy for PIVX there. But I guess I'd recommend TenX, Ripple, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Long term, very promising. If that's what you're looking for, check those out. So notice how I haven't mentioned Bitcoin. The reason why I've kind of left that out is just because it's so volatile. We are at the all-time high right now. Not really sure what to expect. I still believe we're going to see 10,000 by the end of the year. I think that's very much within the realm of possibility. But I don't know. I never really recommend buying at the all-time high. So I don't know. There is money to be made in Bitcoin, but you have to be willing to accept the risk because it is very volatile. All right, more questions. What do we have here? Nothing on YouTube. Please provide a link with more info about the setup required for mining $1,200 with NiceHash. Okay, so what I was saying on that is you have to set up a rig that is like you have to max out your GPU power in order to really get good gains from NiceHash. I did like just a really quick example for you. I only make 80 cents per day with my computer with my one GPU, a GTX 970. I only make 80 cents per day, right? So if you want to make $1,200 a month, you have to bring an overwhelming amount of hash power to the table. In order to do that, you're going to have to invest $4,000 or $5,000 in a rig and get multiple GPUs, like top-of-the-line GPUs. I suggested the 1080 Ti earlier because it has like the best combination of hash power, low power consumption. I did my research. 1080 Ti is where it's at. But you're going to have to buy like 4 or 6 of them in order to generate enough hash power to make $40 a day, which was going to be my target. But yeah, so $40 a day, that is $1,200 a month. But that's going to require a ton of upfront investment. So I don't know if you're willing to look at that. Obviously, the power consumption is going to be pretty significant as well because you're going to be running 4 overclocked GPUs, like completely maxed out. I haven't done that math yet. I'm not sure what the power consumption is, so you're going to have to subtract that from $1,200. You might net $1,000 or just under it per month. So you're looking at 5-6 months to obtain the return on that investment. I don't know if you're willing to do that or not, but I wasn't trying to sell like a get rich quick scheme using NiceHash there. It requires some, some know-how to set up the system. It requires thousands of dollars to even set up the system up front. So it's not easy to make that much using NiceHash. If you're just using your system at home, you're only going to make a buck or two per day, even if you have like a phenomenal GPU. That's it. That's it for questions. Price action, boring. Starting to level off. Neo. Let's go look at that again. I mean, this, like I said, it appears that the sell-off is continuing for Neo. This is the trend, or this is the resistance line, and it's every time we hit it, we bounce off, and we continue to sell off. So we'll see. We will see. I think it's going to continue probably through the night, and then maybe tomorrow morning, when we're anticipating the news, there'll be some more buying power. We'll have to see. Alexander Paez has a question. Is ARK a good long-term investment? I don't know. I know I've seen some YouTubers cover it fairly recently. I think someone said it was like one of the best top 5 altcoins for November. I don't know. I don't remember what that project was even all about. I want to say it was forked from the Ethereum blockchain, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I can't comment on that, unfortunately. I apologize. But, so yeah, this has been a pretty good live stream. A lot of really good questions, but I'm losing my voice. And that's not good because I have to give a speech tomorrow in my class. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Again, thank you so much for all your support, all your questions. We just broke 100 subscribers on YouTube. If you haven't already, navigate to our branded YouTube channel, Crypto Answers, and subscribe. You'll get all of our videos, all of our updates. You'll be the first one to know. But yeah, thanks for tuning in tonight. It has been a very, very enjoyable stream. It's been awesome talking to you guys and taking your questions. I feel like it's been very productive, and I owe that to you. So thanks again. Everyone have a good night. Wrap up the weekend with success, and we'll go again next week. Peace. See you guys.